Welcome to this video entitled Competencies for Teaching in Multicultural Classrooms. This video is part of the professional learning series entitled Intentional Second Language Teaching. How do we recognize the diversity present in our classrooms and communities? How do we intentionally include linguistic and cultural identities in our teaching? Keeping in mind that language is a key component of teaching and learning, how do we capitalize upon the strengths inherent in difference? By addressing these questions, we are beginning an important discussion related to intercultural competence. So what, then, does this term mean? Intercultural competence can be defined as the ability to recognize and value difference and build upon the strength that diversity affords. While our world is becoming smaller, our horizons are becoming broader. Today's classrooms are diverse environments where many cultures and languages come together. Let's explore our own perceptions and actions in order to teach to our diverse ways of living, knowing, and being. One way of doing this is through Byram and colleagues' 3 strands of intercultural competence: openness, knowledge, and adaptability. Openness begins with self-reflection and entails a willingness to explore our worldviews and experiences. While engaging in this introspection, we become curious, ready to learn about ourselves and about the people in our classrooms, our schools, and our communities. Our respect for diversity means being comfortable living in the space between the familiar and the unknown. Knowledge, when viewed through the lens of intercultural competencies, involves empathy and discovery. Empathy does not mean that we have to identify with a specific culture, but rather that we are open to engaging with diverse worldviews. As educators in multilingual and multicultural classrooms, we have an opportunity to discover new information about and with our students. Adaptability builds on openness and knowledge and turns our sights to positive action. Being able to adapt our actions can be challenging. It requires flexibility, communicative awareness, and positive risk-taking. As models of language and behavior for our learners, we can intentionally foster respectful relationships and a sense of community. So how can we support openness, knowledge, and adaptability in our classrooms? The first thing to keep in mind is that all of us want to be accepted. Developing intercultural competencies allows us to foster inclusive classroom communities. Here are a few actions we might consider in our multicultural environments. First, we must get to know our students and their families. We all know how important this is, but sometimes extra effort may be needed to learn about the experiences of diverse learners. By inviting leaders and representatives from a variety of cultural communities into the classroom and engaging with communities beyond the school, we demonstrate a genuine interest in the lives of our students. Second, let's not underestimate the power of multi-language school welcome signs and invitations to events. Taking it further, engage learners and their families by providing opportunities to include home languages in school projects. Recognize and integrate the various languages and prior knowledge students bring with them to school. Third, while keeping high expectations for all language learners, let's remember that students' preferred ways of learning may differ from our own. For example, cooperative groupings, project-based learning, and self and peer assessment activities may be unfamiliar or uncomfortable for some students. When engaging in these types of learning activities, model the process and provide opportunities for practice in order to facilitate new ways of participating for all students. It is also important to provide a variety of modes of engagement, representation, and expression whenever possible. Finally, because our classrooms are inclusive and interactive spaces, we must communicate clear expectations for respect and model behaviors that create a safe climate. As teachers, we also model skills in mediation and cross-cultural communication. According to the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, or the CEFR, mediation is not simply concerned with communicating a message, but rather with facilitating understanding between and among language users. As one example, descriptors relating to facilitating plurilingual spaces have been added to the CEFR. We might consider these new ideas and reflect on ways that we can continue to open up our learning environments as spaces for intercultural dialogue and exchange. To conclude, the intercultural competence journey begins with self-awareness. If we want empathetic, curious, and engaged citizens, we need to acknowledge that although real differences exist, they are not obstacles, but rather opportunities. Intercultural competence begins with an openness to difference and a desire to learn.